Sunday for me. Good morning. In the last video, I said I was going to clean up, and that didn't happen. So this morning, I'm going to clean up. Got a spider web right here. I'm going to take out, and then going to pull this last little bit of wiring, pull it to the back of the car to get it out of the way, and then vacuum all of this junk that needs to be vacuumed out. Once I vacuum all that out, I'll have a clean basin here. And I think I'm going to take the hood and the trunk off. And got to find a spot to put those. So I'm either going to stick them right outside, or I'm going to clean up this area of the shop, which I should probably do anyway, and then put them up against that garage door. So that's what I'm working on this morning. And then depending on how far I get, I might throw the car up on the lift. So we'll get started on that and see how far we get today. Okay, I've got the hood unbolted. This thing's pretty heavy. I'm going to attempt to move it over there. See how this goes. Whew. That's definitely not aluminum. Yeah. Okay. Thought it was falling. Yep, definitely not aluminum. Now I guess trunk. At least if you're wondering why I click and you hear the click button, is because my screen goes blank and I can't see what y'all can see to say battery. So when I click it, it brings the screen back up. All right, let's see if we can get the trunk off. And the name of the game is conserve energy for the camera battery. Of course, it's a different size. Also, like that walk just took me like an extra 5 seconds. I cut that out so that as soon as I started to walk away, boom, I walked right around the corner again to try to keep the videos from being super long. Do you prefer that, me making little cuts like that? Or do you want me just have a real, if I walk away for 15, 20 seconds getting a tool chattering, do you want me to just leave all that in or what? It takes more time. You can, like last night I was editing the video from yesterday and it was like a 20-minute video and it ended up taking the video down to like, 10 minutes. It cuts it, well, maybe not 10 minutes, but it was like maybe 12 or 14 minutes. So, I don't know. Let me know if you just want to sit here and watch a long form video. Try to make it like you're just hanging out in the shop with me, because you basically are. So, I guess if you're engaged enough to click the comment, let me know what you prefer. I'm not normally cutting out anything super important, but I don't know know if it feels less authentic because there's like a little tiny cut here and there. You prefer me to just leave it in? Or what? So let me know. Otherwise, I'll keep cutting all these little segments where I walk away and I'm not talking particularly. Like that when I was talking, so I didn't cut it away. Let me know. Maybe this will spark somebody to want to work on their own thing, start a project, finish a project, be happy that they've already finished their project. Or maybe you find some little piece of information on here that helps you with your own project. Or you're just sitting at work and would rather be doing this, so you watch it on your lunch break, of course. Oh yeah, that's more. A little lighter, less cumbersome. Thinking door panels. Yeah, I'm thinking doors next. All right, I'll take most of the bolts out, and then you can watch me manhandle these things. I'm sure they're heavy. All right, hopefully I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I got my little creeper stool sitting on the end of the door, try to hold some of the weight. I guess you probably can't see that in the video, sorry, but I just have it like an inch or two away from the outside of the door. We got 2 bolts left, one on the top, one on the bottom. Finishing up, the bottom bolt now. Now these are already heavy doors, but I've got all the glass and everything still in it, so it's going to be that much heavier. Now hopefully I don't drop this thing. Feels pretty heavy. A whole lot to hold on to from it swinging that way, really. I can't just hold it here because then it'll drop. Oh shit. Lost my stand here. That's no good. Okay, so let's try this again. All right, I'm unhooked. Not bad with the stool. Like it. give you an idea of that setup. Well, for one, that's how I took the door off. I'm sure I was probably supposed to take those off instead, but hey, whatever. This is what I did. The setup I had, which worked pretty good, was just this little roll around stool. Now this side's sitting lower because of the flat tire up there, but I just put this underneath the edge of the door there, held this side, and then I was able to kind of wheel it around. That worked out pretty good. So I'm gonna do that again here, but it looks like, well, I say I'm gonna do it again. If I can squeeze that underneath of that, that'd be great. There's got a lot of tension on it. It's not a ton of tension. It is a little bit though, but I think I'm okay with it. It's not like it's prying up a whole lot. So let me loosen these bolts up and then put you back on the action. All right, once again, 2 bolts, one on the top, one on the bottom. They're all coming off pretty easy because I used that Pro oil. This time I'm going to try to just hold it like this. I got my leg pressed against the inside holding it vertical, and then my hand just inside the door holding it up. Now we're talking. Weight reduction, natural and physical, altered by me. Now it probably only weighs 4,000 pounds. Oh, all right. Doors off, hood's off, trunk's off. It's starting to look less like a car, which is unfortunate steps in the process, but necessary. I'm leaving all the bolts that I've taken out of each one of these things in their location, and then probably like right now, I'm gonna go through and pick up all the bolts, categorize them, and place them with the parts so I don't forget while it's fresh. But I'm thinking next I actually might put it on the lift and lift it up. Take a good look underneath of it, start spraying some stuff down. But physically, I think the next thing that's coming off the car is the front fenders, and of course the inner fender liner. And I'm not sure how it's put together, probably the radiator core support. If I don't have to take it off, I'll just leave it, but we'll see. All right. Let me work on putting this thing on the lift and get a good look at what I've got. time this car's been in the air in over 20 years. First time I've seen underneath of it for the first time ever. Redundant, but you get it. Had to play with this side since the tire was flat. Had to do a little finagling to get it to lift straight. But you can definitely see some sunlight through there. Yeah, she's a little worse for wear. Definitely gonna need all new brake lines. Oh yeah, look at that. The old air shock. Gonna need new ones of those. What is that, a lifting puck up top, or is that stock? I don't know. All new fuel lines for sure. I'm gonna need all new bushings. Hopefully I can just rebuild the brakes. New master cylinders, shoes, springs, all that good stuff. For some reason I still feel hesitant to walk under here because I feel like that snake's gonna pop out at me, but my gosh, there's no way. There's the floorboard skylights. So the frame, definitely he could have been up in the frame. That's like the perfect little channel for him to walk around. But I don't know if you can tell in the video, but I mean the frame looks fine. It's just all the lines and hardware that are destroyed. Cross member looks good here. Oh, that's something I wanted to look at. Here's the front. I think it's the front. Yeah, the front cross member. It's flaking there. I'll have to sand it down, but that one actually doesn't look terrible. Maybe that one is. This one for sure is the rear one. You can see that from above. She's just lost her structural integrity. That's for sure. All right, skip this, walk to the front. Basically just gonna replace all this. I'll order everything new. New pitman arm, well, new idler arm, new pitman arm. I might be able to keep the pitman arm. That's a pain in the butt to take off, but everything in between, inner and outer tie rods, ball joints. It's got drum in the front, which I've got a whole spindle and disc brake kit for the front, so I'll replace that and have to rebuild it as well. I'm sure the shocks are just destroyed, so I'll have to replace those. Cross member up front looks good. Upper brackets all look good. Frame looks good up here. Buckets all look good. Upper and lower control arms look fine. This is that spot that he was saying, a guy from work was saying always gets rotted out. Man, that thing looks solid. No rust up in there. Awesome. So that's good news. Doesn't look like I'm going to need any real frame repair. You know, this is just flaking paint and undercoat, whatever you want to call it. It's not the metal. So weird. Yeah, so the majority of the rust is just the floor pans. And of course the cross member on the floor pan. But that's not tied into anything other than the floor pan.
It's not the front brace for the transmission mount, or transmission brace, whatever you want to call this thing. Yeah, this is where it mounts the transmission. The rear transmission mounts to it. My front transmission brace I'm going to have to replace though. It's been holding pretty good for the last 20 years, but I don't think it'll survive too much longer. Firewall looks good. Fender wells, definitely gonna need a new one. Rockers look good. I mean, this stuff is just because it's been primered and never sealed, and you know what I mean? It's just bubbled through. It's not like it's rust. You can tell underneath of it, it's not completely rotten out. So that's cool. No, it's not perfect. No, it's not a show car. I can hear the comments now. If anybody of any prestige watches the video, that's not right. You gotta take and replace the entire, all the metal. It's junk. All right, well, go back to your show cars and your high dollar builds. That's not what this is. Well, cool. That's what I got underneath. Honestly, not as bad as I thought. Still going to be an absolute pain because the body bolts, yeah, they look like they're going to come out perfectly fine. Zero problem there. I'm not going to be fighting those at all. That's not going to be one of the worst things to do. For sure. Absolutely. I don't even know where this one is. Okay, there it is. It's in there. So you have to access it through here. Nice. Oh no. That's going to be fun. And I guess there's two in the back, one right there. I'm pretty sure there's one right here. Yeah. Is this one? I think there actually might be one right there. I'm not sure though. You know, this is the first time I've used this lift that it is sort of been in my way. Every other time I use this, it's never been the problem, but since those body bolts are right there in the frame rail, my platforms are kind of in the way. Now, I can still get tools to them and everything, but I can't look directly up underneath of it, which isn't the end of the world. But that's the first time that this style lift has not treated me better than anything else. And I used the cross braces because I saw that when I was loading it, so I wanted to get them even higher. I didn't have to use the braces, but the braces give me a little bit more height because I knew I was going to need to get tooling up in there. So that's why I kind of cheated with those and got them a little bit higher. But it looks like these will be fine. If that's a body mount, which I'm sure it probably is, that one will be a little bit tough. This one will be a little bit tough. Then of course I can access these fine. Doesn't make them easier. They're going to be horrible to get to, or to break off, but worst case scenario, I can get the ones that I can get to, drop the car back down, just jack it up on a jack stand and get to those if I need to. So not the end of the world. Still love this lift because your 2-post lift is convenient when you're using it. Same with your 4-post. When you're not using this lift, it goes flush into the ground. And as you can see, I've been working all around it and had 0 issues. So that's where this thing shines. It's for the guy that doesn't use the lift every single day and has limited space. So if you want more information on the lift, shoot me something in the comments and I'll post a separate video. But that's what this thing is, an EAE 7,700 pound flush mount scissor lift. That's the controls over there if you didn't see them. But I can give you more info on that if you want. Post it down in the comments. Well, cool. I'm just gonna walk around this thing for a little bit and soak it all in. Breathe in and taste the rat poo. And just get acquainted with the old girl. All right, catch back with y'all when I'm ready to do something productive. Oh, okay. Had some lunch. Contemplated not coming out again. Got my second wind. Just gonna focus on one project at a time. So, fenders. Need to get the fenders off. Looks like I got bolt here, bolt here. I don't see any on the inside, except for the one up top. Sorry, hopefully you can see where I'm pointing this. One up top. Looks like there's one here, one here. I know there's a couple across the top there and there. So I'm gonna start down here since I can get to them easy with it up in the air. Hopefully pull those two out, then start working on these for the inner fender liner. And then once I, hopefully those easily come out, but I'll bring it down and then work on the top because I want to get the fenders and the fender liner out of the way. And that way, I guess then I can work on the body bolts. I think on the last part of the video, I said that this might be a body bolt as well. It's not an actual, excuse me, of course I just had lunch. It's not an actual body bolt. It looks like it's just a body pad because there's the same rubber pad in there just like you have for a body mount, but there's no bolt through it. So I guess it's just support for the center. So that's good. At least I don't have to get in there and remove it. So it's just going to be this one. Well, actually, that one I can get to easily. It's just going to be this one. This is the only one that's going to have the lift below it. So I might end up just doing that one on the ground, but we'll see. Been spraying it. I basically used my entire bottle of Kroll oil. I just went through and started spraying everything, every bolt I could see that I knew I was going to be taking off. I just started spraying it. So hopefully it can start working its magic. And if there's a chance at all that the bolts will come undone, that should help. All right, let's start removing fender bolts. So far, not so good. It starts. So, out of all of the bolts, so far 3 of them have come out on each side. This one's spinning inside, this one's spinning inside, spinning inside, spinning inside, spinning inside, spinning inside. Came out, spinning inside, came out. Came out. I think it's the same story on this one. Spinning, spinning, came out. Spinning, 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 came out. Spinning, spinning, came out. So 3 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 out of 10 on each side came out. The rest of them are spinning and captured in some kind of way behind the fender. And just from what I've gathered, looking at it, they don't look like they're easy to come out. So I'm gonna look at it from the top side, but I have a feeling that I'm gonna have to take a small cutoff wheel and cut each one of those out. Good news is if I do have to cut them out, I gotta get new fender liners anyway. So I don't have to worry about saving the fender liner. or the inner fender, whatever you want to call it. But on some of them that are just on the fender itself, I got to be careful because I don't want to mess up my fender. And I don't see any good way of getting behind it because it's all blocked in behind it. So that's going to be fun trying to figure that out. So here we go with the grinder. Okay, camera's getting ready to die, so I had to cut it off so I could wrap up. Got the inner fender liners dropped down and getting ready to unbolt the fenders. I started on this one, got it all unbolted with the exception of the bolts that are up behind here. I guess these bumperettes or whatever these things are called. But I got to take the bumper off to get to all that stuff, so I'm kind of calling it a day here. But the fenders are pretty much ready to be taken off with the exception of the bolts behind here. Fender liners are down, doors are off, hood's off, trunk's off. So that's how it sits today. Pretty good progress for a weekend. Not too bad. All right. Thanks for watching. Gonna go back to work tomorrow and then go back to working this week an hour at a time. So chipping away at this thing little by little. All right. Catch y'all tomorrow.